Hi and welcome to another tutorial of LEANalyser version 2.4.3. Today we'll show you how to load transactions and make use of some advanced load functionality in LEANalyser. Here is our agenda. We'll go through the import of data and how to add transactions into already existing tables, what a data source is, and making use of actions. Let's start by creating a new analytical database. To the right you can see the data that we will import in this tutorial. It's the same order data as the one we've used in previous tutorials, except that each file contains data for only 1 year. It can sometimes be of interest to import order data on a monthly or even daily basis. But in this example, we will start by importing the orders for 2011. We can directly see that a table has been created and we call it just orders. We have about 1,000 records here. Let's apply our modifications to the database. Let's make some data prep, a modification to the structure of this table. Regarding the order value, we know it's made up by the order quantity times the unit price, so let's add that as a calculated field. Let's now go back to load mode and import order files for the remaining years. As we want to append the data to the already existing table, orders, we just drag and drop them into the data area like this. And here we see that another data source was added for 2012, and we continue with the remaining years. Let's apply these modifications and move over to prepare. Now we have 6,481 records instead of the 1,000 orders for 2011. The order value is still a calculated field, and this obviously applies to all the lines in this table, not only for the orders from 2011. LEANalyser keeps track of all the modifications in structure that we've done, and when new transactions are added to an existing table, these modifications are applied to those records. If we want this to be permanent, when something is modified in one of these files, we can set the reloading to be done automatically. LEANalyser will recognize when something has been modified in the file, update its database, and apply the actions on it. If you want to optimize the data import even more, there is a special feature to import files where the name of the file can vary but follows the same pattern. Let's say there will be files with the orders for the coming years. We would like to update our database automatically with these data once they are available. Let's first remove the data sources and only leave the first one. This can be done either by a right-click or using backspace. To be able to import a bunch of files, we can make use of a wildcard character as follows. Replace the year-specific part of the file name by an asterisk. Now when I apply my changes, all data from the files starting with orders will be imported. If I'm interested in knowing how many files that are included, I can press the following button. Let's import some more data, this time from the customer register. We select our data file and drag it into the tool. A new table has been created. Let's call it just customers. And we see here that we have about 1,500 records. Let's make some modifications to the data, some data prep. I would actually like to transform the format of the zip code for the Swedish customers, so that I get it in Swedish standards. I start by filtering on the Swedish customers as follows. I select the zip code field, right-click to access my data prep functions, and add the LAN code in front of the zip code. For the standard format, I also need to add a blank before the 2 last digits. Let's do that as follows. and let's apply these modifications. As seen in the previous example, we know that LEANalyser is capable of keeping track of these modifications to data. It does so by creating so-called actions. They're visible in the tool by pressing the following button. Here we can see that it has recorded our modifications. The action can be modified at any time. As the actions are active for this table in particular, the zip code gets modified for those records satisfying the filter criteria when loading new ones into the table. Let me show you. In load mode, I import another file called customer2. Moving back to prepare, I can conclude that I now have many more records than before. When scrolling down the table, I can see that the characters have been added to all the new records. Let's clear the filter to have all the records visible. Let me finish up by demonstrating the difference between loading transactions and making changes ad hoc. I'll have a look at my order table. Let's say I know that this particular order actually was about 3 units rather than 1. I can directly edit the cell and change the value as follows, but this will give me an error message telling me that this modification will turn off the possibility of automatic reload. This means that actions won't be applied on newly imported records. It's because actions take place on a column level, not on particular cells. So I choose to turn it off and apply it to the database. I see that my order value, the calculated field, has been updated with the modification as well. So what we've done here is that we've turned off the possibility of automatic reload and actions by making modifications ad hoc. It can be useful in many situations, but if you're maintaining a table with new transactions on a daily or monthly basis, it's not a good idea to make modifications directly in the cells. So, today we've seen how to load new transactions into LEANalyser. Thank you for listening.